Hey folks, Andy here. So you have a car that you want to trade into the dealer, but there's a catch. It's financed and you're not done making payments. Are you stuck with your old car until you pay it off? What if you owe more than the car is actually worth? If you're wondering if you can trade in or sell a financed car, the short answer is yes. Of course, there are a few important tips and trade secrets you'll want to follow if you want to pursue this option. There also may be some instances where you would be better off not trading in the car. We're going to take a look at best practices, and by the end of this video, you'll be better informed as to whether trading in a finance car is right for you. The idea of a trade-in is to swap your vehicle for another. The new one is paid in full by the trade-in value of your old car, or the money can be put towards a higher priced vehicle. The vehicle can also be sold outright to the dealer, even if you may still owe money on the payment plan. If you still have payments left on your car but want to sell it, a trade-in may be a more attractive offer, especially if you still need to drive the vehicle. Essentially, the dealership is purchasing the trade-in car and applying the payout to the new vehicle, and the buyer is responsible for the remainder of the vehicle's cost. Determining when to trade in a finance car all comes down to how long your loan agreement is. Because you're financing the price of the car and the taxes that come with it, it's possible for you to be in negative equity if you walk away from a long-term loan early. You're free to trade in a car at any point in the loan, but the remaining balance will determine whether you'll have positive or negative equity. In simple terms, positive equity means you owe less on the car than it's worth on the market. So negative equity means you still owe more than the car is worth on the market and are on the hook for the remainder of the money owed on the payment plan. Ideally, you want to have positive equity when you trade in a financed car. You can build positive equity by making extra payments along the way, or by ensuring you're far enough along in payments on a car that holds its residual value well. If you owe much less than the vehicle is worth, you can either pocket the cash or put it towards a new vehicle loan. Negative equity is a much less desirable situation to be in, but it tends to be the case for most people. Most cars lose value the moment they leave the lot. So it's a likely scenario that unless you make extra payments or your vehicle holds its value exceptionally well, a trade-in can still work here, but you just need to be aware of where you are in the loan and how much is left. This might not be an issue for those in a more financially stable situation, but if the reason for the trade-in is to put a stop to monthly payments, knowing how much is potentially left on the loan is extremely important and could make or break the trade-in process. This means you, the seller, need to ensure that you can still pay off the remainder of the loan. While the process may differ from a dealership to dealership, you are essentially left with the loan to pay back to the bank even without the vehicle being attached to it. Another important point to remember when it comes to negative equity is how new the loan is. Often there are penalties for requesting a loan break or closure through a dealership. This may be a simple payment of a percentage of the total left, or it could be more severe, like a fee due for each remaining month on the term of the loan. The bank wants to ensure they don't miss out on the interest income from those remaining months. This will vary by financial institution and depends on the initial terms agreed upon when purchasing the vehicle. Let's run through some examples. To keep it simple, we're going to ignore things like fees, taxes, and the interest. Isn't that nice? Say your car is worth $10,000 right now, and you still owe $5,000 from the original loan. That means you have positive equity. You could trade in your car for a different vehicle worth the same amount, $10,000, and pay off what you owe at the time of trade-in. You now have a $10,000 car that you paid $5,000 up front for, and you're done with monthly payments. Now for negative equity. Let's say you have that same $10,000 car, but you still owe $12,000 on the loan. You could trade in the car for cash and use that money to pay off most of the loan, but you're still going to owe $2,000 to the bank. Not ideal, but owing $2,000 is better than $12,000. Deciding whether or not trading in a finance car is right for you is personal, but it depends on more than just the status of your loan. It's important to remember a number of factors. Trading in a finance car may be a good fit for you if your vehicle has high ownership costs. It's easy to take out a loan without realizing the long-term costs associated, not just with the bank. From gas prices to maintenance fees, some vehicles cost more than others to run. Maybe you can no longer afford such a large loan. Even if you are in a negative equity situation, sometimes bringing your finance car back to the dealer is the smarter financial decision. Sometimes dealers offer incentives at the end of their financial year to clear out stock. You might be able to trade in your finance car for something you may not have thought you could afford before, with a lower loan rate and reduced prices. Even if the vehicles are comparable, a trade-in could essentially amount to refinancing if the rates are lower, saving you money over time. Finally, if you have positive equity, this is a good option for you. You stand to make some money in this case, or at least save money in the future. Depending on the value, your trade-in could even be enough to fully cover the cost of a new vehicle. So that's a win. On the flip side, the following situations may be reasons to hold on to your car for longer. If your loan is fairly new, there may be penalties that make the transaction an imprudent financial decision. Make sure you know before you go. Even if you are far along in your loan agreement, you could have negative equity if your car has a low residual value. Research is key here. How much of the gap you can stand to cover depends on your personal financial situation. Even if your vehicle typically holds its resale value, the condition of the car when you bring it back to the dealership will determine the value of the trade-in. Every repair the dealer must make is money out of their profits, and likewise, money out of your pocket. If your car's been in an accident, a trade-in might be riskier. If your loan is almost paid off and your car has low ownership costs and is healthy and maintained, your monthly costs will be reduced to gas and the occasional checkup. Unless you really need or want a new car and are in a strong financial position to do so, you'll save money by getting more mileage out of your current vehicle. I know, not the sexiest option, but it is practical. Okay, so you decided to go for it. Now what? While trading in a finance car might seem complicated and overwhelming, it doesn't have to be. Here's how to navigate the process. You'll need your vehicle's registration, all past work statements from the garage if any was done, as well as the title to the vehicle. Even if you're bringing your vehicle back to the same dealership you bought it from, make sure you bring your own loan paperwork. Don't rely on them. Also, remember your license, proof of insurance, and all keys and key fobs. Get ready to pause for our checklist. An obvious but extremely important step when trading in your finance car is knowing how much you owe. You can speak to the financial department of the dealership where you purchased your car, and they can also tell you your exact loan rate, how many months you have left, and the total remaining balance. You might be able to find this information in your online account as well. Dealerships are also trying to make money, and if they see you owe quite a bit on your trade-in, they're going to want to roll that into a new loan for you. Since this could result in a much larger loan for the new vehicle, you'll want to first speak to a financial advisor at the institution linked to your old car loan for options. Bring those options to the table when you speak to the dealership about your trade-in. Do your research. Certain cars hold their residual value more than others. J.D. Power and Associates put together an annual list with top resale value vehicles that you can check out. You can also head over to bumper.com and enter your VIN number to try and get a fair estimate of your car's value. Armed with this knowledge, you may be able to negotiate a better deal on your trade-in. Finally, if you find yourself with a lot of negative equity, putting it towards another loan may not be a great solution, especially for those in tight financial situations. Your best bet may be to stick it out with your current vehicle until you're in a better financial position to finance a new one. We'd love to hear from you. Have any questions about trade-ins that we didn't cover in the video? Drop them in the comments. And don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our channel, or head to bumper.com for more guides and how-tos.